9 minutes to tell you a really cool story. Actually, 9 minutes to tell you about a book, and the book will tell you a really cool story. Diana Savastano is on the phone. She is a author. Her book is called The Marker. It's a thriller novel. In addition to being an author, she's a poet. I guess that qualifies as an author also. A journalist and the founder of DRS Publishing. Her book is about, The Marker is a grave marker, and it goes missing. It's from a Civil War soldier who died in the war, I think, a Union soldier, and the Memorial Star marker disappears, I think, for a little bit, right? And the ghost comes around and says, "Where's my marker?" Diana Savastano. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning, Larry.
Where are you?
I'm in Johns Creek, Georgia.
Oh, nice. Thank you for being
I would like to have told you I'm in a cemetery somewhere.
No, I don't want to hear that.
No, absolutely not.
Well, thank you for being on the air with us. This is a fascinating. Here's why I find it fascinating. Here's why. Because I don't know that I believe in ghosts, but at the same time, I'm always leery about doing things that might upset somebody who's dead.
I don't think you have to worry about that.
No,
I don't believe in ghosts either. But, no. You have the story correct up to a point. The marker, actually, I don't know if you know this, but the marker is the cover mark, the piece that's on the cover. It's a real object. I did find it when I visited a antique shop in Florida many, many years ago.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was on the hunt for something, but I didn't expect that. He told me that his son took it from a Natchez cemetery in 1952, brought it home to Florida. Father didn't know anything about it. The dealer did keep it a number of years because I purchased it in 1992. And I didn't believe his story. I felt that maybe he had fear of retribution for taking it, because where he took it from is a national cemetery, a federal cemetery.
Okay, yeah.
So it's possible the story was true, what he was telling me. But anyway, I put that marker in my hand, and I felt something, and I heard the words, "Write my story." And as a journalist, that was it. I didn't need any more than that.
How can that happen? I'm sorry, how can that happen and you not believe in ghosts? That sounds like a ghost talk to you.
Yes, and in fiction, Bradley Taylor appears to be a ghost to Jennifer Beasley, the protagonist. But in reality, within fiction, because in the realm of fiction there's a lot of reality, he really was an angel who appeared to her in the form of Bradley Taylor, because he wanted out. Basically, he wanted out. He was a Confederate soldier. He was shot in the back on the battlefield. His best friend drags him into the woods, leaves him there. He dies. Someone changes his uniform to a Union uniform.
Oh, wow.
He touches the buckle, and he realizes he's got a Union buckle on. He grasps it and passes into eternity holding that buckle. That's his identification. So he was identified as a Union soldier, but he was a medic fighting under the Confederate flag.
Okay, so this is all stuff you made up, or that you felt like a psychic, or is research?
No, I wouldn't say psychic. No, I'm a journalist, a print journalist, and a writer and an author, and I can see a story in nature. So when I felt it, those are the words I heard. I didn't associate it to a Civil War soldier who passed and who was trying to reach me. I did not. I took it immediately as, this is going to be a novel. And I ran with it, and then it unfolded.
Is that right? Wow. I'm fascinated by this. Can I squeeze in a quick story of my own?
Sure.
I'll try to my best. I am not a psychic, and I don't pretend to be one, but when I was about, 20, maybe 22 or so, I worked as a dishwasher at a Holiday Inn. And there was a psychic guy there, and he said he could read the metals of people. Like if you were wearing jewelry, he could read it. And so, I just told everybody else, hey, this guy told me this. And they said, well, bring him my stuff. So I said, wait a minute, let me ask him. So he said, put everything in different envelopes and bring them all to me. and I'll look at each one, and you can write notes, and then you can tell them what I said. And he never met these people, never. So they put rings and bracelets and everything, and I put a different envelope. I brought them all over to him. He held them all up to his head or whatever, and he saw things with each one. Most of those things were mundane. Anybody could have said anything. This sounds like a woman, whatever. Well, there was one, and I know this is going to sound really crazy, but he said, I see a lot of naked people. And I thought, well, that's crazy. Okay. And so he put it back, and I wrote it down. Well, he said other things too. So then I brought him all back, and I told everybody what he said. But the guy who owned the piece that he said he saw lots of naked people, I didn't tell him that part because I was embarrassed to tell him that part. Okay. Later on, the other dishwasher, I said to him, I didn't tell him about the naked people. And the guy said to me, oh my gosh, you got to tell him. He works at an adult bookstore when he's not here. He was a busboy at the Holiday Inn. And so I'm telling you this story to say that maybe there is something embedded in metal. I don't know. Isn't that crazy?
It's possible within the story. Now, this is in fiction. Whenever there were certain people who held the marker and did find that it had healing powers. There were other people who held it and felt that it didn't. The antagonist in the story, who's a reverend, when he held it, it burned his hand.
Wow.
Is this true? To me, no. This is fiction. I created this in my mind. My imagination went full speed ahead with it. But I will tell you this. As far as I'm concerned and what I believe, a person can send a message to someone who has passed very easily. And you do that, and here's a book, my first book that I wrote. You can do that on the breath of angels. But as far as what I believe, I don't believe that you can reach heaven to someone who has passed or that they can reach you. Scripturally, this is incorrect. But you can on the breath of an angel.
And how do you get messages to the breath of an angel? How do you do that?
Because angels are around you.
Oh, so you just tell them, and they pass them. And
let's say I want to say to my mother, her birthday was New Year's Eve. I would just say, I wish my mother a happy birthday today up in heaven. And if it's the will of God that she hears that message, then she will.
Wow.
That's what I believe.
It actually sounds true, doesn't it? It probably is true.
Yes, it does. I'll tell you why it sounds true, Larry, because it's scriptural. So if you believe in the Word of God, then you're going to believe that. And I believe in the Word of God. So
that's very encouraging, actually.
And with that in the back of my mind, I knew that I had to write this story a certain way. It took a long time to do this. Actually, this book took longer than Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind. But as a working print journalist, I didn't have X amount of hours in a day that I could devote to the book, so I had to sneak it in here or there. The part of speaking to someone who has passed, I had to deal with that. And when I did deal with that, it came out from what was in my book, and I realized, oh my gosh, this was an angel in the form of Bradley Taylor speaking to Jennifer Beasley. And from then, the story just moved very quickly. Before I knew it, it was out there, and the response has been great.
My gosh, I just wish we had more time to talk. All right, I have a copy of the book, The Marker. Call me if you'd like the one that was sent to me. The rest of us have to go buy it. Do you recommend Amazon, or do you have a website in mind?
I have a website. It's dianasavastano.com. It's sold at Amazon. You could go into a Barnes & Noble and order it. Target and order it. Pretty much.
All right.
Pretty much on Amazon.
Just so much Kindle. We probably didn't talk about. Kindle. Oh, I love Kindle. Okay. The Marker, Diana Savastano, Savastano. And we'll put this interview up as a podcast so you'll be able to see it in writing as well.
Thank you, Larry. I wish we had more time to speak.
Yeah, me too. Diana, thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.
Bye-bye.